So, OpenAI just dropped something huge, GPT 5.4. But, this isn't just your standard upgrade. It's a totally new philosophy for how AI works, and it's built around this idea of having two different brains for different kinds of jobs. Let's dive in and unpack what this all means.
Here's what we're going to cover. First up, we'll get into this tale of two brains. Then, we'll look at how one of these brains can now actually think out loud. It's a really cool feature. We'll also see how this all makes the AI a true professional partner, and how it can even start to take control of your computer. And finally, we'll wrap it up by looking at the big idea here, the strategy behind speed versus power.
All right, let's start with the absolute core concept here. A tale of two brains. See, OpenAI is officially moving away from a one-size-fits-all model. This shift to a layered system, well, it's a fundamental change to their entire game plan.
So the big change is this. Instead of trying to build one AI that's good at everything, being both a sprinter and a marathon runner, OpenAI is splitting up the work. They've created this layered system where you have specialized brains, and each one is perfectly tuned for a specific role. This is a complete redesign of how they're building this stuff.
And this slide really lays out the two roles perfectly. On one side, you've got GPT 5.3 Instant, and they're keeping this as the default model. You can think of it as the sprinter. It's awesome for quick answers and just your everyday chats. But on the other side, we have the brand new powerhouse GPT 5.4 Thinking, or as I like to call it, the analyst. This is the one you switch on when you need some serious, deep reasoning for complex, multi-step tasks.
So how does this new analyst brain really change things for you, the user? Well, that brings us to this super interesting new feature they're calling Steerability. OpenAI has a great way of describing it. The model is literally thinking out loud.
Okay, so here's how it works. When you give GPT 5.4 a really complicated task, it doesn't just jump in and start generating an answer. No. Instead, it shows you its plan first. It lays out its strategy. And this gives you this crucial moment where you can step in, you can make corrections, and you can guide its thinking before it goes and does all the hard work. And the result? You get way better answers with a whole lot less back and forth.
This vacation planning example just shows it in action perfectly. So you ask it to plan a trip. The AI comes back and says, okay, here's the plan. I'll compare flights. But maybe you wanted a road trip, right? So instead of having to wait for it to generate a whole useless itinerary, you just jump in and say, hey, let's drive instead of fly. Boom. The AI course corrects on the spot and then builds out the right plan. It's a simple idea, but it's a really powerful shift in who's in control.
Now, all these new abilities, this powerful analyst brain, the steerability feature, they're not just neat tricks. They're specifically designed to turn this AI into your new professional partner. It's built from the ground up for serious, heavy-duty knowledge work.
And we've got the hard data to back that up. Check this out. On something called the GDP-Val benchmark, which tests real-world tasks across 44 different professional jobs, GPT 5.4 jumps to an 83% score. I mean, to put that in perspective, this thing is now matching and in some cases, exceeding the performance of actual human professionals in a huge range of tasks.
And it gets even more specific. On an internal test designed to copy the kind of financial modeling a junior investment banking analyst would do, GPT 5.4 scored a staggering 87.3%. That's just a massive leap forward in a field that demands incredible precision and really complex reasoning.
And the improvements are really across the board. It's way stronger at creating documents, spreadsheets, and presentations. It's gotten much better at understanding visuals like charts and diagrams. And maybe most important of all, for professional use, it's just more factual. We're talking a 33% drop in false claims and an 18% drop in any kind of factual error. That goes a long, long way toward building trust in these systems.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is a quote from Brendan Foody, the CEO of Mercor. He says it's the best model they've ever tried and specifically points out how it excels at long-horizon deliverables. That's a key phrase. It basically means complex, multi-stage projects, the exact kind of stuff that businesses really need help with.
So all of this professional-grade capability is building towards something even more futuristic. Now, the AI can actually take control. We're talking about new agentic abilities. And this represents a huge leap forward in what an AI can actually do.
So what does agentic actually mean? Well, it means giving the AI computer use capabilities. In plain English, that means the AI can now operate a computer. It can use software, carry out tasks across different apps. It's clicking, typing, and navigating just like a remote human worker would. It's pretty wild.
And the results here are, frankly, mind-blowing. Just look at the OS World benchmark.
It measures how well the model can navigate a desktop environment. GPT 5.4 hits a 75% success rate. But here's the crazy part. That actually surpasses average human performance, which is at 72.4%. Let me say that again. It is now officially better than the average person at using a computer.
You can imagine the impact this has on businesses. It's immediate. Todd Fraser, the CEO of Mainstay, found it had a 95% success rate on the first try. And not only that, it was 3 times faster and used 70% fewer tokens. So what does that mean? It means it's not just more capable, it's becoming dramatically more reliable and way more cost-efficient to use at a large scale.
So, this brings us to our final section, and it really ties everything we've just seen together. It's all about speed versus power, and the philosophy that's driving this entire two-brain approach.
You might be wondering, hey, if GPT 5.4 is so powerful, why not just make that the default for everyone? And that's a fair question. The reason is that raw power is only half the story. For most of our day-to-day interactions, what we really value is speed and responsiveness. We want a system that feels natural and quick. So the whole goal here is to give you one seamless experience that has 2 distinct modes. You've got GPT 5.3 Instant, the sprinter, handling the vast majority of your everyday chats quickly and smoothly. And then you've got GPT 5.4 Thinking, the analyst, just held in reserve, ready to go the moment you need that deeper, more sophisticated kind of reasoning. It's really about giving you the right tool for the right job, exactly when you need it.
And that really leaves us with a pretty provocative question, doesn't it? For years, it felt like the goal was to build a single, all-knowing superbrain. But this new release, it suggests a totally different path. Is the future of AI not one giant monolithic mind, but actually a well-coordinated team of specialists? Now that's an idea worth thinking about. Thanks for joining me.